Here we are in line to see Jacob Collier at the Blue Note. No, it's not.
Starting to use
Pretty big line.
guitar.
So I'm upstairs at the Blue Note after a nearly 2.5-hour show, waiting to see Jacob. He's got a big line of people waiting to see him. Awesome people. In fact, a couple people recognized me, so that was fun. I don't know how long they'll let me do it, but I mean, the Blue Note's closing down, and I've just waited probably an hour in line to talk to Jacob. I watched him, well, first of all, give of himself tonight in nearly a 2.5-hour concert. With so much energy and so much authenticity, honesty. And then I watched him while probably 50 people waited in line to ask him questions. And sometimes they would just ask him one question, and sometimes one person would ask him 10 questions. And Jacob didn't act tired one time. He didn't act annoyed one time. He didn't act put off in any way, and all he did was just search his soul to find the best answer to give these people. All kinds of questions, from business to practice to theory to negative harmony to microtones to gear. Everything you can think of. They just showered him with questions, and he poured buckets and buckets of answers on these people. And I sat and I watched and I took notes. I took so many notes on the things that he said. And by the time I got to the front, and I had my own questions. I mean, I had some good ones. I mean, I watched the show, holy moly, and I was blown away. I had questions about specific chords he played, specific voicings he used, specific plagal cadences. The kid's the king of plagal cadences. But when I got up there, all I could do was just hug him and thank him and tell him that there was no way I was going to ask him for one more thing than he already gave. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't find it in me. And he was genuine and sweet, gave me the hugest hug. Look at that. Leaving with his crew and taking a little bit of time to talk to everybody at the bar. Insane. More selfies. More photo ops. He's going to Saratoga tomorrow, and then he's got 5 shows in Canada. No, Rochester tomorrow, then Saratoga, then 5 shows in Canada. Gosh, this kid's working hard. Alright, I'm outside, and I just gave that big spiel about how I couldn't ask anything more from Jacob. And I'm just gonna kind of say a prayer and go for one more shot. I don't know how it'll turn out, but I'm going back in. It's the next morning, and I have to give you a little bit of a clue you in about what happened last night before I show you what happened last night. You know, I told you about how I couldn't ask Jacob for like one more thing, right? And then I walked out of the club, and then I kind of felt like a big wimp. I felt like, gosh, you gotta be able to try to just, you gotta try one more time. So I walked back in, and as I walked in, Jacob was walking over to the piano, and I was able to ask him for a quick duet. It's not the only thing I got, but you're gonna have to wait a day or two for the next thing I got. So, Jacob Collier Part 1 is Aimee's duet with Jacob. My romance.
My romance in what key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I share the bench?
Yeah.
Except, I want us to both sing.
Okay.
No piano. Anything.
No piano? Okay.